more musicals are nominated for Best Revival at this year's Tony Awards. These include Annie, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, and Pippin. So let's talk Tonys. The first up is Annie, which is originally based on the comic strip Little Orphan Annie from the 1920s, and the production spawned 2 movies. It is the story of an 11-year-old orphan named Annie who hopes to find her parents after being rescued from a horrible orphanage by the wealthy Mr. Warbucks. The show premiered on Broadway in 1977 and went on to win the Tony for Best Musical. It spawned 2 films, one in 1982 starring Carol Burnett, Tim Curry, and Bernadette Peters. It had its second Broadway revival in 1997 and a second movie in 1999. This movie was a Disney adaptation and starred Audra McDonald, Victor Garber, Kathy Bates, Alan Cumming, and Kristen Chenoweth. This 2012 production is the 35th anniversary revival, and it currently plays at the Palace Theater. It stars Anthony Warlow as Warbucks, Kate Finneran as Miss Hannigan, though Jane Lynch is set to replace her this summer, and introduces Lilla Crawford as Annie. The Mystery of Edwin Drood, also known just as Drood, is a musical based off of Charles Dickens' final but unfinished novel. It is a comedy murder mystery. Every night, the audience decides who is responsible for the mysterious kidnapping of the main character, Edwin Drood. The original production was staged in 1985, starring George Rose, Betty Buckley, and Cleo Lane, and won the Tony for Best Musical. The 2012 Roundabout Theater Company revival played at Studio 54 and starred Jim Norton, Stephanie J. Block, Betsy Wolfe, Will Chase, and Cheetah Rivera. The show closed on March 10th, 2013. Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella is the classic fairy tale about a young girl in servitude to her evil stepmother and stepsisters before being whisked away to the prince's ball by her fairy godmother.
In my own little corner, in my own.
There has been controversy about whether or not this show is a revival, since it's the first time, technically, this production has been staged on Broadway. The original musical was written for television in 1957 and starred Julie Andrews. 2 more movies followed. It was remade again for television in 1965 and starred Leslie Ann Warren, and remade again in 1997 starring Brandy. It's been adapted for the stage in several versions, but has never been staged on Broadway until now. The musical includes a new book, as well as additions to the score from the Rodgers and Hammerstein catalog. It stars Laura Osnes and Santino Fontana, as well as Victoria Clark, Harriet Harris, Anne Harada, and Greg Hildreth. It currently plays at the Broadway Theater. Pippin is the exotic and magic-filled circus production about a young prince's journey to find his purpose in life. The show has music and lyrics by Stephen Schwartz. The original production opened on Broadway in 1972 and was directed by the legendary Bob Fosse. The original production starred Ben Vereen and John Rubinstein. The original show was also known for being the first show to use commercials. It would broadcast 60 seconds of scenes from the production, telling audiences they could see more commercial-free by going to the theater. It was also announced in April that a film adaptation of the movie was currently in works under the Weinstein Company, though few details are currently known. The 2013 Broadway revival stars Patina Miller, Andrea Martin, and Matthew James Thomas. All of these 4 wonderful musicals will be hoping to bring home the prize for Best Revival come June 9th. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next Let's Talk Tonys video, where I will be bringing you the talented ladies nominated for Best Actress in a Musical.